Now back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports.
All right. I love music. Let's just roll
Let's
on
just
there.
sit here for 40.
Listen to Don King sing for
Another hour of nothing but music.
Nothing but music and everything. Well, we were trying to hook up with Daniel Stanfield, but we haven't been able to hook up with him.
They're having some technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties, but that's okay. We'll keep rolling. How about another prize? I mean, we're getting on along here. Let's. What you got? You got a Ruger?
Ruger T-shirt and a hat.
Yeah, we got a Ruger.
I mean a T-shirt and a belt.
And a belt. So the only person that can win this is a size 36.
36. So you got to be actually 34 in the waist to wear a 36.
Yeah, that's what I wear. But did we get Daniel? Are we trying Daniel? We get Daniel. All right, but we're 274-7979. We're going to give away that belt. So if you have a 42-inch waist, this ain't going to work for you. Okay. All right. So we got a 30.
Away as a gift.
This is really a nice Ruger belt. And also a Ruger T-shirt.
And glasses.
To go along with it. 274-7979.
Sharp-dressed man.
And we're going to let Greg get that prize winner.
Yeah.
Do we have Daniel on? We got Daniel on.
All right.
Hey, Daniel, how you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good. How you doing this morning, Larry?
Hey, thanks for taking time on this Saturday morning to be with us.
Yeah, we first called your number and said you'd been disconnected. You'd been disavowed for some reason.
I think y'all had the wrong number.
I think we hit the wrong number or something like that. But we're glad to have you, Daniel Stanfield. And among his many duties, Dave, what does Daniel do?
Daniel's our regional big game and fur bearer.
All right,
guy. Our coordinator, the program director, or whatever you want to call it. He keeps track of the numbers and on the fur bearers of the fur harvest and mainly the big game, deer and turkey.
Well, let's talk that, Daniel. We've been talking about a little bit about the new little pamphlet that's come out this year, the 2014 whitetail deer hunting results, and we just had a contest to see if anybody could name 2 of the 3 West Tennessee counties that rank in the top 5 in the state.
Right.
That's pretty cool, and somebody did. But,
that's great.
Yes, somebody came across with it. But talk about what you're hearing so far in the bow season. I know it's early. We just kicked it off, but what's it been looking like?
It is early, and kind of go back to that pamphlet real fast. It's pretty neat. If anybody get a chance to pick one of them up,
I love
put them out at the end of each year, and it's got all the statewide rankings. But from this year, what I'm looking at is, it was a little warm last weekend, so that might have kept some people out of the woods, is what I would have thought. But to tell you what, when I got to looking at the numbers, the opening weekend this year compared to the opening weekend last year, there was only about there's only about a 7 deer difference.
Really?
Of the animals harvested. Yeah, it was pretty neat. And another thing, I thought with the going down to a $2 limit, I thought it might have changed, but it was real close to what it was last year.
Well, I'm not sure that there's going to be a whole lot of change.
Right.
With this popped up, there's very few people. What did we say? How many people kill $3?
Well, in the pamphlet down there, it's at 1% of deer hunters.
Of all the statewide hunters.
That's 2,700 people, more or less, across the total state.
Killed $3.
Killed the $3.
Yeah. So that kind of percentage, and I'm looking at the percentage here: 58% bucks and 42% does. Daniel, from your standpoint as a biologist and looking at that, is that a good figure, or would you like to kind of narrow it a little bit more?
Ultimately, when you start looking from a biology standpoint, you'd like to see it more 1-to-1.
Yes.
Taking that 1-to-1 ratio out, but it really, in my personal opinion, and looking at it, you can make it whatever you want to as far as the limit, but it's just people are only gonna kill what they can kill to put up in their freezer.
Yeah.
And that's the end result right there.
Well, when Dave was mentioning that 2,701, that's 1% killed 3 antler bucks last year out of an estimated 240,000 deer hunters.
Right.
So change is change sometime, but this little pamphlet is a wonderful thing for you folks to look. Not only that, but you look on the back, and they got a lot of age structure of harvested antler bucks. You got a lot of knowledge. it's easy to read, as Dave was saying. You can get really complicated on some of this stuff, but anybody can look at a graph and understand when you got different colors and things along that line. But it comes into it. But I know that mass crop, things like that. What's your vision of, when you look at this? Another thing, when I looked at this, Daniel, and we're talking to Daniel Stanfield, Region 1 big game biologist and fur bearer. When I looked at this thing and I saw since 2010-11 up to last year, we've almost had the same harvest total. That just blows my mind. I mean,
correct.
People seem to kill the same number of deer other than 2012, 2013 when we had an unbelievable mass crop. I can remember that year.
Mm-hmm.
But
right.
Are we going to continue that trend like that? It
should be. Everybody's they've got their deer stands. The big tower houses and stuff sitting on their fields, and when the deer, when the crops are in, when the acres are in the woods really heavy, that's where the deer are going to be. And then, when somebody's hunting an agricultural field or their food plot late in the season, they're going to kill the deer in the fields. And it's just people need to figure out, where the deer are at, depending on their food source, and that's where the deer are going to be at.
Well,
and I have to, from my sightings and stuff just around my place.
Yeah.
We have a tremendous mass crop, both white oak and red oak.
Yeah, and that's bears good for us,
right?
For us folks out in the field, even if you can't see, some of us like that. And Daniel, I know I can't wait to get out there for black powder. It's coming up, and those things like that. But we also, I think a lot of people overlook the fall turkey season, and
they do.
And it's a great opportunity to harvest a bird.
It is, and that's one thing. If somebody does want to get out there and harvest a fall turkey, just be sure to look, because not all counties are open to the fall turkey season.
Yes, yeah.
And they can look at our hunting guide or go online, and the way it's set up, if your county's listed as, I think, the fall turkey season with a shotgun or bow or whatever, it comes up October the 17th and runs from the 17th to the 30th.
Yep.
And if your county is involved in that fall turkey hunt, you're actually able to take a turkey during archery season right now if your county falls in that list. But the one thing to be aware of, I had several calls last week. People were a little confused in reading the hunting guide. If you have a fall hunt with a gun, and that quota is a one-bird quota, if you kill that bird during archery season, that is your fall quota.
You're through.
You're through.
Yeah, you couldn't kill one with archery and then turn around and kill another one during a shotgun if your county only had a one bird.
Well, I'm looking at some of these things. Hickman County's got a bag limit of 6.
Right.
Some of these places have an unbelievable, but, I hunt in Hardeman County and I hunt in Fayette County, and they both have a 1, but there's a reason for that.
It is.
And so, folks, try it out. That's October the 17th through the 30th. It's just coming right up, and I know I miss it a lot of times. And then, a problem I wanted to talk to you about really on this show today, because I've seen a lot. There's so much information going on out there about these hogs.
Right.
And Daniel, I know you deal with them. It's amazing how they can reproduce and the things that we're going through. But is it true that a real big one came out of Eagle Lake?
There was. It was just right there kind of north of Eagle Lake Refuge that we have down there. And actually, it was a private landowner that I've been dealing with for several years with the hog exemption permit. And, when people saw the picture, he went out hunting it. Well, no, actually, the landowner, he caught it in a corral trap. He's got one of the fancy Jaeger Pro drop gates, where he can monitor it from his phone or his camera. And Paul kept going there 2 or 3 nights in a row, and finally he dropped the gate on it. But I saw a picture of it. I hadn't got a chance to talk to him yet, but it was really, really impressive hog. One of the biggest ones I've seen coming from over in West Tennessee in that area.
What do you think it weighed? Does he know? Do you know yet?
I don't know if they weighed it, but just looking at it and knowing the size of the hunter that took it, it was probably over 300 pounds, 320, 330. It was a big hog.
And can you imagine how much damage that one can do? And a
lot.
A
lot of damage.
And I don't know if it was. Are the females bigger or smaller than the males? What's
females are usually smaller when they get to those stages.
So this was probably a big male then.
It was a big boar.
Yeah, a big boar. And of course, if folks wonder what Eagle Lake is, I mean that's in our back door here.
Yeah,
And so the problem is there, isn't it, Daniel?
It is, and you know, when you just made a good point, you know, talking about how big they are and how much damage. I mean, just think of how many acres and how much the food plots it can destroy, taken away from the white-tailed deer that we're all trying to pursue this fall. So
yeah, well, we're talking to Daniel Stanfield. If anybody'd like to ask Daniel a question about this, 274-7979, I know he'd be more than likely to answer, because this hog problem is not only low for Tennessee, but I know Arkansas, Mississippi. This is really, and Dave, you know, this is a.
Yeah, it's you know, and it's one of the things that and hogs, they do a lot of damage out there.
I've seen
not
video.
only from, you know, our standpoint for, you know, the habitat and stuff, but some of this wild swine that can come in here. You know, Tennessee, the ag community for the years take pride, you know, in having a reputation of having disease-free, you know, herds and stuff, and some of the diseases that this, you know, that these feral hogs can bring in would be just devastating to them.
Well, folks, Daniel, we appreciate you taking.
I'm gonna put Daniel. I got to ask Daniel one question.
Ask him a quick question.
You know, the fall turkey, the summer brood survey. You know, we had a lot of high water over here. Kind of off the top of your head, you know what some of those figures, you know?
Well, you know, we've taken all the data and compiled it, and we sent it off to our statewide turkey coordinator. But just looking at what I saw from some of the brood surveys in West Tennessee, it's going to be similar to last year, real similar. It's just kind of spacey. In some areas there was a really good hatch, and then in some other areas it wasn't so good. But one of the things I did notice was the dates on a lot of the brood surveys. It seemed this year, I don't know if it was due to the water or the weather, but a lot of the turkeys had late hatches.
Okay.
So that was kind of interesting. So hopefully, if they had a late hatch, they'll be able to make it through the winter. They can get on up to a certain size where they can survive better, and maybe the outlook will be good for next spring when it comes around.
Well, Daniel, thank you, buddy, for talking to us. Always good to hook up with you. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again, okay?
All right. See you later.
All right. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back on ESPN 790. Take us out of here, Greg.
Hey, there is no better way you can find